G'day and welcome to MoeJoe Creations. This episode will be about working with gel candles. Here I'm wanting to focus on a few tips that I found, especially with the wicks and the dye types. There's many ways to make gel candles in the way of themes. I've chosen the more popular beach theme, especially here in Australia. We're one big island. The coloured sands and shells are readily available at dollar shops. The sand and shells here cost no more than $6 Australian and would easily make up a dozen candles or so. As you're working with a clear gel for this candle, it's important to have a clean, clear jar to show off your candle. As we do test candles, I'm reusing this jar, hence the extra clean. Gel candles are the most expensive in regards to candle waxes. Even though it's not a wax, it's a mixture of mineral oils and a resin, as they do mix really well. There is only one manufacturer for this gel product, made by Penrico in Texas, USA. After a proper clean, I'm using an alcohol cleaner to get rid of any leftover residue. I got this at Bunnings for $26 for a 500ml bottle. Expensive, but it does the job. The wick I'm showing is pre-made and has a fine wax coat on it. I have found that using a cotton plain wick for gel candle works the best, as they don't contaminate the clarity of the gel. In the opening of this clip, I showed a CDN wax wick that was used, and you can see what looks like fuzzy dirt along the length of that wick. That's the wick reacting with the gel. So we don't want that. We want to avoid this, as clarity is what we really are after. Making up a wick is simple. Work out the length needed and cut. Then attach to a wick turn. Apply enough pressure to clamp down onto the wick. Not too hard, as this will sometimes break it. I found that out the hard way. As gel candles can burn up to 3 times hotter than wax candles, I always select a large sticky dot to attach the cotton wick. A hollow long enough straw or the shoal of an old pen helps the wick get placed into the jar for those who have sausage fingers. On looking back, if I thought about it, I would have placed the wick holder after I placed the sand and the shells into the candle. Oh well, nothing like a challenge. On other gel candles I've made, I didn't check to see if the rocks or the sand were pre-washed or cleaned. That affected the final appearance. Here, these ingredients I use were clean and easy to work with. Being a natural product like sand and shells, there is no risk of extra burning hazards either. As gel wax is expensive, it is to your advantage to build up your profit, reducing the cost of the actual gel material. As this is a 300 gram jar, but I used a total of 120 grams of gel wax. The final weight when finished was 745 grams. When handling gel wax, I find a set of disposable gloves are best. It leaves an oil-like feeling on your hands. When breaking up or cutting the amount you need, I find that with your hands, just tearing it as you need it, or even a metal spatula works fine. I've heard of people trying scissors and they don't get very far. There is only one way to melt wax gel, and that is not with a double boiler. It needs a very high temperature. Here you can see I've started the temperature at 80 degrees Celsius. This will only give it a sticky substance. It takes time for it to melt. It's not something that should be hurried with. The ideal temperature to get the gel up to is around 160 to 170 degrees Celsius. Never leave it unattended, as it can ignite. A quick tip to clean your pan when you're finished: let it completely dry and peel it off. The consistency you're looking for is that like clear baby oil. No lumps or feeling tacky or sticky in the pan. Another good sign to remove is if it starts to smoke. It's starting to overheat that gel wax. Remove it from the heat. Adding fragrance. They say approximately 3% fragrance load is best. I like to push mine up to at least 6%. It can be burned off if added to it while it's still very hot. I'll add mine as it cools down more. Now, using dyes, I use caution with this. I've tried drop dyes and block dyes. I've found block dyes and scraping is safer to reach the colour. I found that with liquid dyes it was very strong, where if you have a drop and you don't like it, well, that's too bad. Unlike wax candles that dry lighter, gel candles will show you the exact colour you will get. Careful when adding your fragrance. Allow to cool but not below 130 degrees Celsius, as you still need the heat to really mix your fragrance thoroughly. I've slowed this down so you can see how it pools, but mix it well. When pouring your gel wax candle, take the time to pour out a slow but steady pace. This will help reduce the amount of air bubbles that will happen regardless. I hope this has given you a better understanding of making a wax gel candle. If you liked or found this helpful, please like and subscribe as we release further videos. Thank you.